ownership superstition and state motivation. In the first half of GDP grew by %. Foreign trade showed a year-on-year decline. Inflation was high, and small and medium-sized enterprises were struggling sad. Bankruptcy has become a trend. Regarding this situation, the relevant parties are both very vigilant and very anxious. Based on continuous meetings and discussions, they have decided to change the macro tuning from dual prevention to one protection and one control, and have made sufficient articles on protection. In terms of policy rescue itself, it is understandable. But if analyzed from the perspective of macro adjustment history, today's scene is precisely the period of macro adjustment back then, and the current situation proves the remarkable achievements of macro adjustment. The reason why we dare not recognize the macro adjustment results is that the protection and pressure distribution of macro adjustment policies is uneven, which is basically characterized by the protection of state-owned enterprises and the laissez-faire of private enterprises. Starting from the tight monetary and land supply in this ND of regulation, the GEM has been delayed. Private enterprises have no access to financing, and state-owned enterprises and central enterprises can queue up to go public. The vast number of low-end enterprises in the industrial upgrading have completely lost their protection, and central enterprises take the opportunity to regain lost land and complete industry monopolies and market division, such as telecommunications. This result naturally cannot be accepted calmly by private enterprises. Therefore, the political foundation that can ensure the transformation of economic growth mode is fairness and justice. And based on this, policies can be revised the intention and effectiveness of the measures. Otherwise, the political show of Yigong Heilong will greatly undermine the government's credibility and make the cost of trial and error increasingly high. A prerequisite for establishing a political foundation based on fairness and justice is the establishment of a new concept of the country and a new concept of the people. That is, the understanding of the state transcends the violent machine in the stage of class conflict, but is independent of social entities, represents the common interests of all members of society, and takes the establishment of rules and regulations, maintenance of rules, and provision of public services as the main national motivation. Only when the national motivation is pure and selfless can the political principle of fairness and justice not be excluded. The new concept of the people is to restore the people from abstract concepts and exploitable slogans to specific individuals and interest groups. Only through the evolution of negation and negation can the people-oriented people find a realistic career, and the specific forks. Firstly, price reform once again faces a fork in the market or administration. At that time, the marketization of consumer goods was radical. The one-step implementation led to severe inflation with CPI reaching %, and some major cities such as Beijing exceeding % in the cut. In that price reform is not as simple as marketization. The shock therapy severely damaged economy of Russia is a clear proof. Today, if the price of resource goods is released at once, it is likely to repeat the price breakthrough of years. But price controls also distorts the market. For example, market coal plant power has made % of state-owned power enterprises lose money, and % of Shanxi power enterprises' capital chain may be broken or will lead to power shortage this summer. It can be seen that price marketization is still a major direction, but the market-oriented transformation from planned thinking cannot be achieved overnight, which often requires a process. Therefore, in the process of reform, it is necessary to adhere to the marketization of prices while maintaining social stability through administrative power. Undoubtedly, becoming the leader of left-ping the standard of right balance. Secondly, the direction of price reform has been determined, but the market-oriented approach faces a choice, which is to linearly follow the god painting 破窈窕, or nonlinear feeling stones crossing the river. In the SU, under the advocacy of price liberalization both domestically and internationally, the world believed that long pain is better than short pain. In a shortage economy, the feasibility of directly connecting prices through linear deduction not only failed to achieve price reform, but also triggered a wave of panic buying and hoarding, which taught profound lessons. But this attempt precisely proves that Western medicine cannot cure all diseases, and the linear approach is not suitable for China's atypical, high complexity, and multi-drop national conditions. The reason why we were able to overcome the dilemma of consumer goods reform back then was still due to the dual-track system that can simultaneously balance history and development. This non-linear innovation is a dual-track system on an incremental basis, gradually rewriting the price mechanism through price liberalization in the production field. In fact, this integration under the shortage economy has been undergoing twists and pains until the economy shifted from shortage to surplus and it was only then that it was natural and normal to connect. From this it can be seen that the feasible path for resource price reform is still a dual-track system. But this dual-track system is not the same as in the previous market, can provide speculation opportunities for funds. Since the beginning of FIS, inconsistent words and actions constantly applying to increase investment quotas while loudly short-selling the stock market have been exploiting the policy uncertainty, instability, and unpredictability of the Chinese stock market to profit. On the other hand, the more complex a system is, the more stable it may be. On May, China's A-share market unexpectedly fell % due to an increase in stamp duty. On the same day, the H-share market only fell % while the B-share market fell more than %. This phenomenon has been referred to by foreign media as the strange phenomenon of Chinese corporate stock prices. For foreign investors, the chaos of China's finance is evident. In addition, China's finance is opening up to the outside world, and in the face of various disturbances from external forces, Hong Kong can play a buffering role to some extent. It can be foreseen that China's finance will be forced to develop greatly in the process of being utilized, and the stability of complex system self-organization However, the complexity and chaos of the financial field itself not only confuse foreign financial capital, but also the management of China. It can only be a matter of cracking down on the situation and being dragged away by the situation. Fourthly, the Chinese-style social liquidation is the most peaceful. It is common around the world that too much funds need to be liquidated. The law is only expressed differently in different economies. In the classic market economy, the outbreak of financial crises became the main way to evaporate funds and close positions. But it brought about severe economic fluctuations and social unrest. For example, the Asian financial crisis caused many large companies to go bankrupt. In South Korea, people also used their household gold products to help the government overcome difficulties. Under China's special way of settling funds, the administrative liquidation has replaced the severe financial crisis. The management often directly forces project shutdowns in the form of policy directives, causing the chain of huge funds to instantly achieving the effect of cooling and evaporating. During this process, banks with government guarantees played the role of shock absorbers. For example, the T-Bund incident completely wiped out the billion yuan loans of 6 financial institutions, forcing banks to follow the company and suffer significant losses. From this perspective, the market economy with Chinese characteristics has alienated the classic expression of financial crisis and to some extent ensured the smooth operation of the economy. But this seems to Secondly, the financial national strategy is the most prosperous. There have always been rumors of American conspiracy theory in the financial market. For example, the United States wants to force the RMB to appreciate, just like Japanese asset price bubble in that year, and let China's economy fall into recession. The Southeast Asian financial crisis is believed to be largely due to the financial conspiracy of the UK. The UK used international speculators to destroy the Hong Kong economy, allowing the Chinese government to take over a mess like Hong Kong, while the US cooperated with its actions to profit from it. No matter whether the conspiracy theory is established or not, finance has actually been regarded as an important means of national strategy by the United States and Britain. They are controlling the redistribution of global resources by financial means, such as using finance to control the world's agricultural civilization and industrial civilization. The prices of agricultural products, energy, and resources are all controlled by the futures market. In addition to being regarded as a national policy measure, finance itself has also become an end, such as the United States launching the Kosovo War to prevent the return of European financial capital and blow up the euro. The organic combination of political deception, military strikes, and financial gain has become a common national policy in the United States and Britain. From this it can be seen that financial civilization not only has economic significance in the United States and Britain, but also has significant political significance value. Thirdly, the logical deferral of the industrial economy is the most classic there. The rise of the old financial industry in the UK as a result of the Industrial Revolution, raising funds and taking on risks, have supported huge investments in transportation, energy, raw materials, infrastructure, and other aspects, promoting manual production to fully enter the industrial civilization era of large-scale machine production. The Dow Jones stock market in the United States provided the main financial driving force for the development of industrial civilization. Through the listing of enterprises, a bridge was built between industrial civilization and financial civilization. For example, the compensation of company executives was changed from the payment law of industrial civilization to the payment law of financial civilization, which instantly magnified the hard work and linear accumulation of company executives in the stock market. And the Nasdaq stock market plays a bridging role in the grafting of new economic civilization and financial civilization, using the interests and rules of financial civilization to stimulate Americans' innovation enthusiasm, which in turn promotes the development of new economic civilization.